What's up, Interwebs? It's me, Kyokilla. I'm here to do a comparison video between the new Battlefront made by EA and DICE and the old Battlefront made by Pandemic. Let's get started. It doesn't matter if you've played Battlefront II or you're a virgin to the series. You'll notice that the interface is very, very clean, which makes it super easy to navigate and get where you want to go. Here in the collection menu, you can see something called star cards. In traditional shooters, you get loadouts that determine what skills or equipment you can use. Here, it's not all that different. You earn a currency by leveling up, and use that currency to purchase these cards. During the beta, at least, these cards are permanent when purchased, and they can be used to build a 3-card hand that essentially acts as your loadout. At the beginning of a match, you select which hand you want, and you have access to those 3 cards during the match. When the game actually comes out, there's going to be a variety of game types, but as for now, you're limited to 3. Drop Zone is a King of the Hill-ish game type. Walker Assault is a pretty badass objective-based game, where you have the Empire and the Rebels vying for power. And the last is a single-player survival mode that pits you against waves of different kinds of stormtroopers and the occasional ATST. To save time, I didn't include any Drop Zone or survival footage, but I can post some of that at a later date if the demand exists. But it has to be real demand, like the kind your mom gets when she walks by an alley full of hobos. Don't talk about mom that way! Alright, you're like, enough with the menus, play the game, blah. Alright, I'm actually gonna play it. One of the best parts about this game is that it looks f***ing gorgeous. Look at the breath coming out of each of the rebels. I mean, the attention to detail is unreal in some of these areas. For instance, the lighting. DICE has always been pretty good with lighting, but this kind of tops anything they've ever done that I've seen thus far. If you pause the screen for a moment and just look at several segments of the wall, you're going to see different kinds of light coming from different areas, and it doesn't really impede your frame rate. It looks this good, and it plays that smooth without sacrificing anything, and that's pretty incredible. Now, I'm running it on a rig at a modest high to ultra. It's not all the way ultra, but I'm playing it for optimization, so you can see clarity and gameplay together, not just really good graphics or really good gameplay. I tried to get a mix in here, that way you can get a good idea of what this might run on an average to middle-aged rig. And there's Darth Vader. F*** that, I shot first, I shot first, I shot first, I shot first. Another thing you might have noticed is that I've been playing in third person. It is an option to go into first, and I will do that here in a momento. First, I'm going to go outside and look at these hills, and then I'm going to run over this rock and then I respawn first. So here we are in first person. It looks really, really good. It's very Battlefield-esque, which obviously DICE made. Here's me in a turret shooting stuff. Pew, pew. I'm missing everything because I suck. Bam, bam, bringing lasers. The next thing I'm going to do is use my power-up, which is my Y button that you see here. That makes me have blue lasers that are way more powerful, and it's pretty bad. Oh god, that's a body! So I talked about the loadouts, and you've only seen me use Y, which was the blue power-up thing. Let me run over here and get pushed around, not squish, because I'm a bad. You're going to see me use my rifle, which I have mapped to right bumper, and it's pretty effective. And after I use it, you'll see that I've got a cooldown, and once that cooldown's over, I can use it. Here, I picked something up, which I then use by pressing LB and RB together, and that was a shield. Here, I picked up a rocket launcher, which I will use, also using left bumper and right bumper together. And those are all just random pickups, the last 2 that I did. This, I don't know what's happening. Oh, that's the hero pickup. So, instead of getting enough points to get a hero, you pick up the icon, and it's like a little token, and then you get to become whichever hero you've picked up. You've got 12 seconds to activate it, and once you do, you get to Darth it up, or Luke, or whoever you are. It's pretty great because you can jump glide, you can saber throw, you can force choke, which I didn't really get to do. I was too focused on slashing and doing that, and running around like an idiot. Ooh, look at me, I'm a ghost, and I'm a ghost again. I f*** you up, and then I get shot to death by who knows what, too. In the old Battlefront, you could just run up to vehicles and hop in. This one, it's also a pickup, much like the hero and much like the rocket launcher and the shield generator thingy. You pick it up, you've got 12 seconds to activate it, and then boom, there you go, ATST in the house. Walking around, shooting shit. There's a Luke over there. I don't know if you can see him quite yet, but I'm gonna squish him with my little ATST laser. And then I'm gonna shoot some other stuff because I'm cool. And I'm actually really bad in the ATSD. I'm pretty much terrible at most of this game, if you haven't noticed thus far. I spend most of my time dying, and actually I've been pretty good at editing that out. And there I go, I died again. By who knows what to again, that f***ing asshole. My favorite vehicles so far have to be the flying vehicles. The X-Wing is a little more powerful than the TIE Fighter. Maybe it's just me. They might actually have the same power. But if you watch me pew-pew here for a minute, I do some pretty good damage, and then I kamikaze, because I'm a f***ing nerd. So, we're going to try it one more time. Let's call in another X-Wing. Cleverly edit that together, because you can't do that twice in a row, and then I lock on and I shoot a photon. Boom, done. He's dead. Can I shoot this hole, and then he goes away. Don't know where he went, so I'm going to cut to the point where I find him. There we go. Hey, Tanya! What you doing over there? Up. And you. This is a really cool thing I like to call galactic karma. Like in most real-life scenarios, Mel Gibson has the top kills, followed by his bestest friend, Jesus. This Jesus turns water into pancakes. That pretty much sums it up for Battlefront, the new one. This is Battlefront II, and this is what the interface looks like if you haven't played it. If you have, welcome home. It's not as pretty, but there's a lot more options. Galactic Conquest happens to be one of my favorite modes, but I'm going to show you a little bit of the single player, that way you can see what the game is like, if you haven't played. So here you've got some different troopers you can select that have different loadouts, different kinds of weapons, and some that you can't unlock until you score some points. Yeah, you look pretty cool. I'm gonna pick you. So, as you can see, I'm in first person, and the visuals are actually pretty good, considering they're probably about 10 years old. I didn't check because I'm an idiot. The gameplay's pretty solid, a little more twitchy, the frame rate's a little higher, and there's actually a lot more going on here. What you see is me trying to shoot to get points, and those flashing arrows are objectives, and I believe they're turrets that I have to destroy. Yeah, and what's real cool about that is you die like a f***ing idiot. Anyway, you earn enough points and you can then become a hero. And on your next respawn, you'll be prompted to select that hero. Right now, I am a Jedi, doing a bunch of random stuff. The controls are pretty much the same. It's like the first-person gameplay and the third-person gameplay of the troopers. It's a little twitchier than you might anticipate. Although that's great, unless you're an idiot. And f*** you, Carl! You're always in the way! The vehicles on this, you just run up to. You don't actually have to grab a token. You just GTA that shit. You f*** it up. Real slow. Ah, there we go. There's an explosion. And that's pretty much it for that. One of my favorite features that's going to be missing is this ship-to-ship combat. Now, there's going to be some aerial modes where you can fly your jankety-ass ships in the air and shoot each other, but this actually has two big starships where each team respectively starts in a starship, can go to the dock, get into vehicles, and fly into each other's ships to complete objectives. Right now, you're seeing some capture the flag footage, which is fun, but my favorite is the Conquest mode, I believe is what it's called. And you're going to see some of that footage here in a minute. Gameplay is pretty much the same. You get to pick Rebels or the Galactic. I can't. I'm gonna botch that if I talk about that because I can't remember it. But yeah, and this is that mode where you have to destroy each other's ships by deactivating things. For instance, I have to land. I have to land in this ship, and then I gotta go f*** it up. Gotta destroy all these turrets, and then I've got to... Yeah, you gonna die.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Gotta go deactivate the systems, the shields, shit like that. Once I destroy it, you'll see it on the top right. Go bye-bye. I guess to sum it all up, I like the new Battlefront a lot. It's beautiful, it's fun, it definitely seems more casual because there's an enormous lack of features compared to Battlefront II. So, If you watch this, thank you so much. Please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed yourself. This is a really long video, so if you made it to the end, hallelujah. Good job, you. Come back and see me. Go to my Twitter, also follow that. I'll see you next time. Later, guys.